Welcome to the Reinvented Life with Lorna. I'm Lorna and I'm so glad you are here. We are here to celebrate a special moment or a milestone on this channel, and I am beyond excited to be able to do this with you today. Let's talk about the journey, the lessons, and what's truly possible after 40. Now, first of all, I must say thank you to all of you, whether you're new here or you are a returning subscriber. Thank you for making this possible for us, this incredible milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Now, it's a milestone regardless of what stage you are as a channel. But for us to do this within 4 weeks of launching, it is beyond mind blowing. And that I have to give God thanks and just be grateful to you for showing up and for blessing me with your views, your comments, your feedback that suggests that the message is resonating. This is a vision that started from my wanting to serve larger groups of women, but I just didn't know how to do it. And I will say that by virtue of me just putting out my prayer or my intention to God, to the universe, I would keep receiving signs from the universe. I would see experts and leaders and visionaries on YouTube sharing their message, their stories, and I would think of it that I could do it, except I didn't want to show my face. If you are joining me live, I want to thank you and just share where you're joining me from and leave a comment or some feedback in the link in the chat, and I will come to you toward the end because I don't know how to multitask very well. So you're gonna see me checking my notes from time to time. But for right now, just bear with me. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm seeing it, and I'm gonna respond toward the end. Thank you. I really appreciate you making yourself available, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here to join me live. So I'm gonna check my notes to see. So this channel started as a leap of faith. It's a vision to create space for women over 40 to start fresh, embrace change, and live life fully. But as I said, I was afraid. I was afraid to show my face. I was afraid of looking foolish. I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of not being liked. And once I was able to get past the fear, I was able to step into looking at the camera, recognizing that beyond the camera are people who are going to catch my message, who are going to resonate with my message, and who will want more of me. And it's been so incredibly heartwarming for me to realize that uh, the message is resonating so powerfully, and to so many of you, it's meaningful. So thank you. Um, I think I shared in Not Too Late to Start Over that video how it was so hard for me to get past the fear. Literally, I would feel sick, like I was going to die just to be in front of the camera, just to show my face because it felt like I was overexposing myself. And to be able to move through that, it's been so liberating for me, I can't tell you. If nothing else, it's allowed me to just be at a higher level of reinvention. And there's been incredible growth for me at this juncture in my life. I want to say, you're going to see me checking my notes. As I said, I didn't have fancy equipment or lots of money, but I knew I had a message, and I knew I had a story, and that if I could just get past the fear and the insecurity, it would reach people because I know that this journey that I've walked is something that can be helpful to others. So once I got past that, it was just about showing up, showing my face, dressing up, showing up, and being consistent over the past few weeks. And this milestone here reminds me that anything is possible if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to get up, dress up, show up, and be consistent. You can have the results that you're seeking. And so this is powerful. And so, what's in it for you? To every woman out there, regardless of your age, who's wondering if it's too late, it's never too late. You are right on time. And here's a powerful question for you. What would happen for you if you were to start fresh, embrace life fully, and I'm sorry, let me go again. What would happen for you if you were to start fresh, embrace change, and live life fully? Let me say that again. What would happen for you if you were to start fresh, embrace change, and live life fully? I'm going to ask you again. What would happen for you if you were to start fresh, embrace change, and live life fully? Take a moment and think about that. And while you're doing that, I'm just gonna check in on my comments. Thank you for your nice feedback about the background, mm, and for the feedback about yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, those are great. Okay, great questions. Thank you so much for your feedback. I'm going to get to it toward the end, if you don't mind. Let me do it. So, what I've done is I've selected some questions because there have been so many comments and great heartfelt feedback from everybody. I've been so blessed by the just the heartwarming sense of people saying things like, so glad you got over the fear of getting in front of the camera. You have no reason to be that way. And so, it's just been so heartwarming and so beautiful for me. And as I've as I looked at the various comments, there were questions from people who, are different at different points in their life, and they want to be able to move forward. So I chose a couple of questions, and what I'm going to do now is read some of those questions that were pre selected and give you the answers that I've got. So I'm going to read from my notes, and this first question is in response to the first video I did, which is Start from Scratch After 40, in which I shared the story of what happened on my first day in the classroom in Korea. And one person was very triggered, and their question was, why should I put up with racism in Asia? I would prefer to deal with it in English speaking countries. And I thought about whether I should have shared that story when I was doing the first video, but I realized it was a very important part of my story, and I chose to share it. But I will say this: I don't think that every situation is racism. I know that racism exists everywhere, but sometimes what we consider racism is ignorance. It's that people have not been exposed to us, to everybody, to some groups, and so it can come across as racism. And I would say sometimes people just don't know any better, right? It's just a lack of exposure. But the main point is this: you don't have to go to Asia. You can choose to stay where you are in an English speaking country. But also know that if you are seeking a better life, if you're seeking a fresh start, there may be opportunities that you're missing in Asia, and you're dismissing those opportunities based on fear. There's a quote from Joseph Campbell that says, "The cave that you fear to enter is the one that holds the treasures that you're seeking." I'm going to read that one again. "The cave that you fear to enter is the one that holds the treasures that you're seeking." I'm going to do that again. "The cave that you fear to enter is the one that holds the treasures that you're seeking." We each get to decide what we're willing to put up with in exchange for our growth, our prosperity, and our possibility. So I leave that with you. I trust that it helps you to maybe open up a little bit more to greater possibilities that await you, and to not allow the fear of dealing with racism to stop you. And I thank you for your heartfelt question, because that's really a very powerful one. All right, so on to question number two. Question number two is, what age is too old to start over? And I think it's a great question, because in the 1900s, they considered 47 to be too old. Today, in 2025, when I did the research, 80s is considered to be too old. But guess what? You're as young as you feel. There are 80-year-olds right now who are hiking and biking and salsa dancing and mountain climbing and what's the other one I was thinking of? Um, there was another one I was, uh, uh, what's that one again? Let me see if I check my notes and see. Running marathons, right? They're enjoying life to the fullest, right? 80-year-olds doing that, 90-year-olds too. They're enjoying life to the fullest. And then there are 20-something-year-olds and 30-something-year-olds who feel old. So age is nothing but a number. As long as you're breathing, you can start over. There is no expiration date on starting over. I really hope that that lands and makes a difference for you, so that you don't put yourself in any kind of category that would limit you from starting over, regardless of your age. I'm going to come to you in the comments when I get done answering these ones. But, um, so that was number two. Question number three is, I feel stuck and I am unsure how to get stuck. What can I do? And I want to acknowledge this viewer and say thank you so much for this question, because it's a normal one that all of us face at different points, right? There's nothing unusual about you feeling stuck. It's human to feel stuck at different points. So I want to suggest a couple of things for you. First, the first thing is to acknowledge the feeling and tell yourself that it's okay. It's normal. You're just being human when you feel stuck. All right. So start with that. And then number two, get clear on what's causing you to feel stuck. Is it a specific situation in your life? Is it a lack of motivation? What exactly is it that's making you feel stuck? And then number three is to think about a past situation in your life in which you felt stuck and you were able to get unstuck. What did you do to get there? How did you get unstuck? And then take one small action, and see what happens based on that. So, number one, acknowledge that it's okay for you to feel stuck. You're human. Number two is to get clear on what's causing it. Is it a particular situation, or is it just a lack of motivation? Think about what exactly is it that's causing it. And then three, think about a past time in your life when you were stuck you got unstuck. How did that happen? How did you get to be unstuck? And then take one small action step, see what happens. Question number 4 says, reinventing myself is an inspiring way of putting it. I am starting over and I have all kinds of fear coming up. What can I do? Well, I want to say, first of all, congratulations on having the courage to start over and also to recognize that there's fear coming up. Excuse me. It is normal to have fear. And so, what I'm going to invite you to do is to tell yourself that it's okay to have fear. Talk to yourself. Self talk is very important, positive self talk. So, if you can find a way, let's see if I talk to the camera here now. If you can find a way to talk to yourself in a positive way, as I'm looking in the camera right now, and tell yourself whatever your name is. And this is something that I do sometimes. I go and I talk to myself and I say, Lorna, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're safe. You're safe. You're going to be okay. And sometimes just giving yourself a hug in the moment when you're faced with the fear, give yourself a hug. The other thing that I think is important is to write down the fears that are coming up. Journaling is a key part of how I move through a lot of the fears that have come up in my life. And journaling is something that I encourage everybody to do because it's a powerful way for you to get in touch with what's underneath the fear. It's also a powerful way for you to begin to build your self-confidence, build your self-esteem, and to hear the voice of God, creator, life, the universe, whatever you call it. Sometimes by writing, as you start writing down what is bothering you, what is causing fear, as you start making note of it, as you allow it to flow out of you, you will get answers from God, from life, from the universe as to what steps to take to allow yourself to shift. So, journaling is a key part of what I'm encouraging you to use because it's a tool that I use all the time. And I continue to use it because I continue to deal with fear. Every step of the journey, every time you move to another level, there's something else, right? Coming on to do a live creates fear for me. And so I'm tethered to my notes because I'm gonna mess up, right? So just recognize that it's normal, and I bless you to move through it courageously, to start over, as you say, reinvent your life, and to do what it is that is next in your life. All right, so we're coming down. We're doing for time. Okay, I have one more that I'm gonna take from the questions that I chose. And this one says, I know this is about reinvention after 40, but do you think it's possible for those in their early 30s who are still searching for their purpose in life? And it's what a great question. I love that you asked that. And it feels like it's a two-part question. And I'm going to answer it in this way. Um, I feel that there is no age that reinvent there's no limit on an age that you can reinvent yourself. I started out as a 20-year-old not really knowing what my life purpose was, searching for my life purpose, and I was able to find it. And I think the question that you're asking is, can people in their 30s reinvent themselves when they're still searching for their life purpose? I think absolutely yes. And can people in their 30s feel comfortable to join us in this group? Absolutely yes. While I chose to focus on women in their 40s and beyond, I work with women of all ages. And I say that because I was a social worker and a teacher. And you can't limit yourself to working with just one age group. So my group, my community is for everybody, every age. Yes, I said it's for women 40 and older, but I welcome you, I embrace you at any and every age. And whether you've already found your purpose or you're still searching, you are welcome. And I'm happy that you're here, and we will help you to find your purpose. I trust that that is helpful, and I thank you for your question. So let me see where I'm at now. I'm gonna take a few more questions from the chat. Let's see. Thank you so much. I'm getting some really great feedback here. Cheers. You are, yes, you are as young as you feel. Getting compliments saying you look so radiant today. Thank you so much. Um, Somebody else said, good thing that you were able to step into the camera, and hope you will start appreciating yourself since you are wonderful. Thank you so much. Like your beautiful background. Thank you. Hello from the Philippines. Hello. Wow. 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 Thank you. So thank you guys. Thank you. I'm so grateful. So very, very grateful. So question, what was the biggest lesson in reaching? What was the biggest lesson to reach, to get to 1,000, or in reaching 1,000 subscribers? Would you mind clarifying that one? What would you mind clarifying that one? Uh-huh. Um, and somebody else says, that's why I love this space. It's so inclusive and real. Every woman deserves to feel seen and empowered here. I agree, and I thank you for that. Yes, absolutely. Positive self-talk really changes everything. Um, to the question, though, about what was the biggest lesson? Um, I never, in starting the channel, I never thought about getting to 1,000 subscribers. I simply thought about how I was going to show up and offer value, right? So it was never about, people did ask me. I remember there was somebody that I was consulting with, and she said, well, how are you going to measure success? And I'll tell you, she was saying, you need to watch the analytics, and you need to watch the metrics, and you need to watch the this and that. And I said to her, here's how I'm going to measure success. My success happens from the very first video I upload. The very moment I was able to get in front of the camera and turn on the camera and press, record, and record the video and then have it uploaded and published, that was success for me. So I didn't allow YouTube's metric or anybody else's metric to determine my success. I chose to think that I was successful from the very moment I got in front of the camera and from the very moment I uploaded one video. And I didn't feel any pressure to, do this, do what everybody said to do, because I needed to work at my own pace. Somebody in their 20s may be able to do 1 million videos every week, or five, or three, or whatever. I just did what felt like it was manageable for me, because I needed to make it sustainable for me. I think that's what I meant to say. I needed to make it sustainable so I don't burn out. I have experienced burnout in the past, and I didn't want to make this a burnout job. So I just said, I'm going to do something manageable. So I'll do one a week, and I would push to maybe make a second one if I could. But ultimately, the metric for success was my own. It was when I put a video out there, when I get up, dress up, show up in front of the camera and press record, that is success. And just by doing that, right, it's like encouraging myself. It allowed me to have the juice to do the next thing. And And I think just showing up, right, it helped people to feel good, to feel seen and heard, because my story is the story of so many others. And here we are. So I'm incredibly grateful. And thank you for that question. It's a great one. Let me see. New comments. Biggest lessons reaching. Yes. Okay. I hope I answered that question. Did I answer your question? I hope so. Um, there's another question saying, I'm just curious, how did you come up with the name and what inspired you? Great question. Um, the Reinvented Life, I think the Reinvented Life came about because I have lived so many reinventions in my past. I think I mentioned in Not Too Late to Start Over video, for those who haven't yet seen it, that I started over when I left Jamaica at 20 years old. Went to Canada as a babysitter. I mean, worked as a babysitter first, and started over and worked as a customer service rep, in a legal office supplier. And from that, started over again as an accounting clerk in an insurance company. And, I'm always reinventing myself, always. And reinventing ourselves is key, because some people start fresh every day. Every day is a new possibility. And some of us, we wait until circumstances in our life, like maybe a bad situation, a bad marriage, things not working out to change. But for me, reinvention is the theme of my life. It's just how I live life. So I thought the Reinvented Life. I've seen other something life with somebody. So it was suggested to me that I needed to make it the Reinvented Life and then put my name, right? So the Reinvented Life with Lorna. And how did I come up and what inspired me to start it? Like I said, just the fact that this is the story of my life. I had to do it because I'm not living somebody else's life. When I do something like this, there's no effort to it, right? It's just me, it's my life, it's my story, and I get to show up, I get to share it with heart and soul and, passion, because I've lived it. Does that make sense? Mhm. Yes, yes, exactly. I'm living, somebody says here, I see, wow, you're truly living the message behind your channel's name. Absolutely correct. I couldn't do it, I wouldn't be able to sustain it if this was something that I had to push. And, this is my life, the story of my life. So I'm incredibly grateful. I want to thank each of you for showing up today. I'm so, so happy that you showed up. So, so happy. So, as I'm getting ready to close, I want to say so many of your questions are connected to what I guide people through inside the journal and audio series. And you can find it in the pinned comment if you want to explore deeper. Um, what's coming up next is I'm going to be traveling for 7 weeks, and I'm going to be doing the Reinvented on the Road series with some Instagram lives. And I'm also going to be starting a new series called Lorna's Rough Cuts, which is just me, unedited, unfiltered, heart to heart conversations. So I'm inviting you to keep an eye out for all of that. I'm inviting you to stay tuned. I'm inviting you to join me in all of this in this next week and in the weeks to come. I want to say to each of you, thank you again. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your heartfelt comments. Thank you for your views. And whether you're watching live or in the replay, I want to see you commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing. Well, you've already subscribed, I'm hoping, but whether you have or you haven't, I thank you for being here. Your support means everything to me. And again, I look forward to sharing more with you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you again, and bye bye for now. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Bye bye, you guys.